Hello students, I am Dr. Rahul Kaushik. Today we are going to cover our next important topic of our syllabus, which is industrial production, estimation and utilization of phytoconstituent. And today's phytoconstituent is podophyllatoxin. This podophyllatoxin is anti-cancerous. So, in the last lecture we have discussed about Taxol, which is also an anti-cancer drug. Today also we are going to cover another anti-cancer drug, which is called as podophyllatoxin. If you look at the structure of podophyllatoxin, it is having various oxygens you can see in the structure. So, these are the indications, or these are the characteristic features of lignans. So, basically it is a most abundant lignan. Lignan is a specialized category of phytoconstituent, and this category of lignan, it is isolated from podophyllin. Podophyllin is a resin which is obtained from the rhizomes of genera Podophyllum, Podophyllum immodi, which is an Indian variety, and Podophyllum peltatum, which is a USA variety or American variety. So, first from the rhizome we obtain a resin which is called as podophyllin, and from this podophyllin resin we obtain the lignan podophyllatoxin. The parent drug, or the Podophyllum immodi or Podophyllum peltatum, which are the parent drug for isolation of this phytoconstituent podophyllatoxin, they belongs to the family Berberidaceae. Berberidaceae is a family to which these drug they belongs to, and you can see I have written Mayapple. This Mayapple means it is a common name of this drug. Okay. So, Mayapple means, if you look at the fruit of this plant Podophyllum, it looks like the apple, and this plant it bears that fruit in the season of May or in the month of May. So, in this that is why it is called as Mayapple. Lignans, they are if you look at their definition, lignans, they are polyphenolic large class of secondary metabolites in the plants. If you look at this the physical status or the physical properties of lignans, it is white crystalline powder and it is classified under lignan. It is moderately soluble in alcohol and other organic solvent. So, we have the solubility here. Solubility, it is moderately soluble in alcohol and other organic solvents. It is very important to mention the solubility, because we are going to deal with the isolation of this particular phytoconstituent from its parent drug. Widely distributed in America, Canada and temperate Asian countries. Like in India, if you can see, it is the temperate region in India is around is at upper Himalayas or the parts of China, Nepal, Bhutan. So, at these places it is widely distributed. There are very few areas where it is grown. Mostly in mostly areas it is found wild. It is soluble in alcohol and used as anti-cancer, antioxidant and estrogenic activity. So, these are the uses of this phytoconstituent podophyllatoxin. If you look the pictures, you can see that this is a image of a jungle or a forest, where this Podophyllum peltatum or Podophyllum immodi wall, it is being found wild. This is the flower, and this flower will bear the fruit which we call the Mayapple. This is the dried powder of the rhizome, from which we are going to isolate the podophyllin, which is a resin, and from that podophyllin resin we obtain the purified crystals of podophyllatoxin. This is purified podophyllatoxin. So, Since we are here, we are concerned about the phytochemical or the individual entity or the individual component. So, we should know how this phytochemical is going to act on your body, and since it is an anti-cancer drug, so we should know how this podophyllatoxin is going to act on your body as an anti-cancer or other allied effects. If you look in the image, you can see the podophyllatoxin, the glycosidic derivatives. The glycosidic derivatives of this podophyllatoxin, they are atiposide and teniposide. These are the well known anti-cancer drug which are available in the market. These are glycosidic derivatives of podophyllatoxin, and these atiposides and teniposides, they have an inhibitory action on reverse transcriptase. They inhibit the reverse transcriptase, and after inhibiting the reverse transcriptase, it shows the antiviral and anti-HIV activity on the body. If you look at its anti-cancer effect, you can see that podophyllatoxin, it interferes with the microtubule formation. It interferes with the microtubule formation and it exerts its anti-cancer action. Also, it is having other biological actions like anti-malarial, antioxidant and antifungal actions. Also, the glycosidic derivatives atiposide and teniposides, they are blocking the DNA topoisomerase, and in this way it is showing its anti-cancer or anti-neoplastic action. So, these are the mechanisms of action through which this podophyllatoxin is going to act as anti-cancer drug on your body. So, there are two steps or two stages where this podophyllatoxin interferes in the cell cycle. It is between G2 and S. Here it blocks the DNA topoisomerase 2, and here in the metaphase it interferes with the microtubule formation and thereby giving the anti-cancerous effect. So, this is the mechanism of action through which podophyllatoxin works. Production, if we look at the production part, we know that the podophyllatoxin is obtained from the resinous material podophyllin, which is obtained from the podophyllum plant. The dried rhizome or the dried rhizome or the dried root powder, or you can take the resin directly, it is extracted using ethanol. The root rhizome or the resin podophyllin itself, these are extracted using ethanol in Soxhlet apparatus for 6 hours. The mixture, the extract is then filtered, and the filtrate thus obtained is then concentrated to a syrupy mass, the ethanolic syrupy mass, the ethanolic syrupy mass. This ethanolic syrupy mass is treated with water and dilute HCl. The mixture is then cooled and allowed to stand for 22 hours. For 2 hours, the syrupy mass thus you obtained, this syrupy mass is added with water and dilute HCl, and the mixture is cooled and allowed to stand for 2 hours. After 2 hours, the mixture is filtered under vacuum. The residue is washed with acidified water and cooled below 5 degrees Celsius. The residue after cooling is added with 90% alcohol, and the mixture is then shaken well, mixed well, and then filtered, and the filtrate thus obtained is then evaporated under rotary vacuum evaporator. After evaporating the solvent, you get the light brown powder of podophyllatoxin. This light brown powder of podophyllatoxin can be converted into pure white crystals or pure white powders of podophyllatoxin using various purification techniques, including your column chromatography. You can also use column chromatography for purification of your podophyllatoxin. We have isolated the podophyllatoxin from the podophyllin or the roots and rhizomes of podophyllum plant. Then after isolation, we have to confirm its identity, whether the isolated compound is the intended compound which we intended to isolate. So, for that we have a specialized test. This test is specially used for confirming the presence of lignans in your sample. So, what happen in this test? 0.5 ml of aqueous solution of this extract is taken and it is mixed with 2 ml of 2% furfural in a test tube. So, what you have to do? You have to take a test tube in which you have to put 0.5 ml of aqueous solution of the extract and 2 ml of 2% furfural. You have to mix the content well. After mixing, you can see the formation of red color. If you can see the formation of red color, that it indicates the presence of lignans in your drug sample. Moving on to next slide, these are the slides which I have mentioned in almost my every lectures. This Soxhlet and separating funnel, these are integral part of isolation of phytoconstituent. So, if you take the Soxhlet, it is composed of 3 parts, first part, second part which is extractor and third part which is condenser. What happen? You put the solvent here, you pack the drug here. The drug is packed in the form of a thimble. Thimble is generally a filter paper which is wrapped and form a packet, and you have to put that packet into that extractor. So, what happen? When you apply the heat, the solvent vapor they get evaporate and they enter the extractor through this side tube. After entering this side tube, the vapors tries to escape outside. They try to escape outside, and meanwhile they encounter with the condenser at the top, and after getting encounter with the condenser, the droplets of solvent they get condensed, and the droplets they get condensed and they fall freely into the extractor, and here you will have the interaction of drug and the solvent. So, drug and solvent they came in contact with each other, and since the drug is powdered, and due to that interaction the phytochemicals or the chemical constituent present in the drug they get solubilized in the solvent, and as soon as this combined extract it reaches to this height, the height of siphon tube, the entire content it starts migrating to the reservoir again. So, this is a cycle which is called as siphon cycle, and during Soxhlet extraction there are multiple siphoning or multiple siphon cycle that takes place in the extraction procedure. So, this is the Soxhlet apparatus which we use which we mostly use for separation of phytoconstituent from the drug. This is the separating funnel, and this separating funnel is used for partitioning a phytoconstituent between two solvents, or you can say it can also be used for separating the two immiscible liquids from each other. Suppose you have water and oil combination. If your water is adulterated with oil or oil is adulterated with water, then you can separate them using this separating funnel. But in phytochemistry it is used to partition a phytoconstituent from a least soluble solvent, a solvent in which a compound is least soluble to a solvent in which the compound is more soluble. So, this is the separating funnel, and we have discussed the functioning of this separating funnel in our previous lectures many times. Moving on to the next apparatus, important apparatus of this analysis or extraction procedures is rotary vacuum evaporator. Here we have the rotation, involvement of rotation. This round bottom flask is rotate. The advantage of rotation is that uniform distribution of heat. The heat is distributed uniformly over the edges of this, over the walls of this rotary round bottom flask. We are also applying vacuum. The benefit of applying vacuum is or negative pressure is that the solvent which forms a thin layer over there, it starts to evaporate at a very low temperature. At a very low temperature it starts to evaporate, and it gets sucked into this unit. The droplets they get sucked into this unit, the vapor they get sucked into this unit, and here we have condenser. We have condenser, and through this condenser, these vapor they get condensed and the solvent is recovered solvent. So, this instrument or this apparatus is having advantage of solvent recovery as well as thermal protection of your phytoconstant from the thermal degradation, because generally when we evaporate the solvents from the extracts, mostly charring of the phytoconstant it takes place due to the you can say improper handling of the extract or improper treatment or unequal distribution of heat throughout the evaporating vessel. So, but here we have rotating round bottom flask, we put the extract here and the solvent is recovered in the recovery flask, whereas the extract or the residue it get collected from the this round bottom flask. So, this is the round bottom rotatory vacuum evaporator. If we look at the properties of podophyllatoxin, podophyllatoxin has got a melting point of 183 to 184 degrees Celsius. You can see the real crude podophyllatoxin here and the purified podophyllatoxin here. We have discussed the production technique of crude podophyllatoxin, and this pure podophyllatoxin can be obtained after column chromatography and other purification technique. So, if we talk about the physical properties, the boiling point of podophyllatoxin is around 453 degrees Celsius. Solubility of podophyllatoxin, as we have discussed in with the introduction page, it is insoluble in ethyl ether, but is soluble in acetone, benzene, and it is very soluble in ethanol and chloroform. So, the solubility here it is a little bit specific. The compound is insoluble in ethyl ether, but it is soluble in acetone, benzene, but it is very soluble in ethanol and chloroform. The density of the podophyllatoxin is around 1.26. Storage temperature, if you want to store the purified podophyllatoxin, you can store it at a temperature of 2 to 8 degrees Celsius, and the purified podophyllatoxin is it occurs in the form of white to white crystalline powder, or in crude form it occurs as light yellow or light brown powder. Solid form, it is obtained in solid form. If we talk about the solubility of the water, it is slightly soluble in water. If we look at the lambda max of this podophyllatoxin, it is 280 nanometer. It means that at 280 nanometer the compound podophyllatoxin shows the maximum absorbance under ultraviolet radiations. Separation, estimation and identification of the compound, we have got sophisticated techniques like thin layer chromatography and high pressure liquid chromatography, HPLC and TLC. So, taking on TLC, here we have used the silica gel plates, pre-coated silica gel plates we have used for TLC. The mobile phase for TLC analysis is chloroform methanol in the ratio of 9:1. Flow rate is not applicable in this TLC. The detection of the spots of podophyllatoxin on the chromatogram can be done using iodine chamber. You can use iodine chamber for detection of the spots on the chromatogram of TLC. The RF value, retention factor value of your podophyllatoxin on the TLC plate is around 0.4. So, simply if you look at the TLC plate, you can get the spot at spot of podophyllatoxin or band of podophyllatoxin at an RF value of 0.4, and the spot can be visualized only after treatment with the iodine chamber. The sample here was prepared by dissolving 1 mg of your drug in 10 ml of methanol, whereas the standard was prepared by dissolving 1 mg of your standard biomarker podophyllatoxin in 1 ml of methanol, and from these both samples and standards we put the spots of our standard and sample drug. Okay. So, this is the TLC analysis and you can get the RF value at 0.4. If we took a look at the HPLC analysis, we have used the C18 column here. The pore size of 5 micrometer in the column is used. What is pore size? Pore size is, suppose it is the packing of your column, then it means that between two pores or between two particles of silica gel or your stationary phase, there is a space of 5 micrometer through which the component they passes through. The mobile phase for HPLC analysis was methanol and water in a ratio of 62:38 volume by volume. The flow rate for HPLC analysis is 0.9 ml per minute, and the injection volume was 20 microliter for HPLC analysis of your phytoconstant podophyllatoxin. The HPLC UV detector was used in HPLC analysis. The detector was set at lambda max of 280 nanometer, and the retention time of 9.45 was obtained for podophyllatoxin. It means that after injection of your sample, after 9.45 minutes, the peak for podophyllatoxin was observed on the chromatogram of your sample. Here the sample was prepared in the same manner. The sample was prepared by dissolving 1 mg of drug in 10 ml of methanol, and the standard was prepared by dissolving 1 mg of standard biomarker podophyllatoxin, which can be obtained from Sigma or from Merck, and it is dissolved in 1 ml of mobile phase and spotted over the the samples they are injected, 20 microliter sample they are injected, it is injected in the HPLC machine. This is the HPLC system which we have used. We have injected 20 microliter through this syringe. This is a glass syringe, and all these components, these instruments, they are connected with the computer or software. The column chamber, it is also connected with the column software. The detector is also connected with the PC for data acquisition. We can maintain the pressure, we can maintain the column temperature, we can maintain the pressure flow, we can maintain the flow of mobile phase using the software which are provided with the computer. So, in this way you can carry out the HPLC analysis of your phytoconstant podophyllatoxin. HPLC analysis, if you look, we have used the stationary pre-coated silica gel plates as a stationary phase. The samples, they were spotted using nitrogen gas, which is generally used for sample spotting, because nitrogen is an inert gas, it has nothing to do with the sample composition. The mobile phase for HPLC analysis is acetonitrile and water in a ratio of 4:6 volume by volume. The TLC chamber, it was saturated for 10 minutes. The total run time for TLC development was 25 minutes at room temperature, 27 degrees Celsius plus minus 2 degrees Celsius. The mobile phase run distance is around 8 centimeter from the point of application of the spot. It means that on the plate of TLC, if you applied the spots here, you have to run the TLC up to 8 centimeter or 80 millimeter from the point of application. So, this should be the solvent front, this should be the solvent front. So, it is the 80 millimeter or 8 centimeter. For derivatizing reagent, we have used anisaldehyde sulfuric acid. We have to spray the derivatizing reagent, or we have to immerse. In HPLC, we immerse the developed plate into the chamber of derivatizing reagent, and we dry the derivatized plate in hot air oven at 105 degrees Celsius. When we scan the HPLC plate, we use the lambda max, UV lambda max of 217. The detector was set at 217, and we can visualize the spot. For podophyllatoxin, we get the RF value of 0.41 on the chromatogram for HPLC. Here in this analysis, the sample was prepared by dissolving 10 mg of your drug in 1 ml of methanol, and the standard was prepared by dissolving 1 mg of drug in 10 ml of methanol. So, in this way you can prepare the sample and the standard, and you apply the sample and the standard on the TLC plate, and you will develop it, and after developing you can analyze it under UV radiation at 217 nanometer, and under these conditions you can get the reproducible results in the form of RF value at an RF value of 0.41. Moving on to the next slide, this is the machine or HPLC instrument which we can use. We have already discussed the functioning of this machine. It is very much similar to the TLC analysis, but here each and every task of sample application to sample development to the solvent system or mobile phase preparation or saturation, every task is done automatically. So, this HPLC analysis has the advantage of giving reproducible results no matter where you are carrying out the analysis. The results will be similar for a drug under similar condition at here also, at America also, at Japan also. So, there are no fluctuations, there are no variations in the results. So, this instrument has the advantage of getting reproducible results. So, this is widely application instrument used in the analysis of herbal drugs. If we talk about the uses of podophyllitoxin being an anti-cancer drug, is used for a large group of other skin related or other outgrowths or other skin outgrowths, like you can use it to as anthelmintic to treat the parasitic infection, worm infection. It can use to treat the deafness. It can use to treat the snake bites. It is also used as a purgative and luxative in the cases of constipation. It can use as a suicidal poison. Suicidal poison. It can also be used as suicidal poison. Mostly right now or nowadays, this podophyllitoxin or the creams or the emulsions made up of or which are containing podophyllitoxin, they are being used for the treatment of genital warts especially, or the skin wart treatment. So, if you have a wart or a skin outgrowth at any part of your body and especially genital areas, you can use the creams which contains podophyllitoxin. As anti-cancer, this drug can be used in skin cancer, in lungs cancer, in the cancer of testis, and in other types of malignant tumors. White patches on the tongue in people with weakened immune system, which is called as hairy leukoplakia. In specialized cases of hairy leukoplakia, you can utilize this podophyllitoxin cream. So, these are the uses of this podophyllitoxin, and it has got a large variety of uses ranging from deafness treatment to treatment of snake bites to suicidal poison to purgatives and luxatives. So, we can use this podophyllitoxin in a wide variety of diseases, and especially it is used for treatment of warts on the skin and especially genital warts. So, thank you so much. Thanks for your patience. In the next chapter or in the next discussion, we are taking another drug which is atropine. Thank you so much.